welcome to today's author diaries. We are beginning the red pen edits on my book, Venture Beyond. So this is draft 7. I just got this test copy sent to me. It does have a draft in it. It's not like a full test copy. I wanted to test out the cover and make sure that everything lined up right. I have a video all about how I formatted my book, unboxing this test copy, so make sure to go check that video out. But today, we are about to begin the red pen edits, which is my favorite part of writing. This is where the Virgo in me comes out so strong. I love critiquing and getting into the nitty-gritty, editing things down and like really fine-tuning the word choice, and there's nothing I love more. So I'm very excited about this. I don't really know what my goal is going to be. How many chapters do I have in here? So I have 39 chapters in Venture Beyond. I don't really have a deadline for when I need this to be done, unlike when I wrote 30,000 words in 4 days. The whole reason that I did that was so that I could have this. I was initially going to publish Venture Beyond on November 20-something, but I recently had a realization that that is just not possible. It's just not physically possible for me to do that right now. Like, this is draft 7. I still have to do the red pen edits, finalize the cover, etc., etc. And I don't want to rush that process. I really want to take my time with it, look at this book with fresh eyes, and really dive into what needs to change and be better. I'm not going to force it, which means we are going to publish Venture Beyond in January. But we are going to begin the red pen edits, and oh my god, I'm so excited. You have no idea. I've been holding back doing this since it arrived yesterday. So that video where I wrote 30,000 words in 4 days, I wrote this much of the book in those 4 days. I'm insane, dude. So I was reading back through it yesterday because I had just written it and it's very new to me writing. A couple of the chapters and scenes were ones that I had before, but I heavily edited them or completely rewrote them. It was very cool to reread it. To be honest, my writing has progressed so much since Venture Below came out. It's actually insane. I gotta give credit where credit is due to this Brandon Sanderson lecture series that is free on YouTube. Please, if you are a writer, you have to go watch this series. It changed the game for me and it made writing so much easier and so much better. I highly recommend that. I just can't wait to read this. I don't know how long this is gonna take. I don't have a deadline. I don't have a goal, which I do like to have goals. So I don't know. I'm just gonna wing it, see how today goes, see how many chapters I can crank through. I guess from there we'll kind of have a reasonable expectation for every day. Once this is done and I have this draft complete, I'm going to put all of my edits into a new draft, which will be draft 8. Fingers crossed that it'll be the last draft. And then from there on, I'm going to send it to my alpha reader, Kayla, and then get her thoughts, her opinions. Trevor, my husband, just reread Venture Below. I got a second copy so he can read Venture Beyond as I'm doing red pen edits and give me his thoughts. This man, he loves me, dude. I have yapped his ear off about every plot point and every decision I've made and all the changes it's gone through, to the point where he just doesn't even know what happens in this book anymore. So I'm very excited for him to read it and hopefully see the progression in my writing. That would be the biggest win. The people that read Venture Below read Venture Beyond and are like, whoa, the writing has gotten so much better. And also really love the story and the character, because we are following a new character in Venture Beyond where they're kind of barely mentioned in the first book. I really hope that Riley is a character that people immediately grab onto and love, root for. That's my main goal with this book, because she honestly has become one of my favorite characters. That is that. But once all of that is complete and I get that feedback back from Kayla, I will begin the brainstorming and plotting process for the third book. I almost said the name. Wow. Which I haven't revealed the name for. I'm very excited for that and to document that experience. I think ever since I've been on this binging writing session where I freaking wrote that much in such few days, I have been itching to get back into writing, and my fingers are I need to type. I think it's healthy to take breaks. I also think it's healthy to start writing again when you feel like you need to start writing again. So I may just do basic poetry, work on some little writing prompts, just something to keep that muscle working. I don't want to lose that momentum, and I also don't want to get burnt out in this world like I think I did before. That is just what we are up to today and where we are at in the process with the Venture series. With all of that being said, let's get to editing. It is 3 o'clock now, and you're not gonna believe this. I'm halfway done. I am on page 166, chapter 18. I'm definitely catching a lot of little things. I'm finding a lot more things to change in the beginning than I originally thought I would have. That is honestly just proof that my writing has improved since watching those Brandon Sanderson lectures, because the front half is old stuff that I've had, honestly, probably since draft like 4, 5, 6. This whole beginning has pretty much stayed the same. And so I'm finding myself really like fine-tuning my word choices and the phrasings of things, and it's definitely a Frankenstein version. I can tell where I've like pieced together like old things from like draft 4 and draft 6, and like that's been a little interesting, and trying to make sure that it is easy to follow and understand as the reader. And Trevor has even pointed out a couple things to me that he's caught reading it. He is on page like 55. And I'm on 166. So I'm flying through it. I am trying to take it slowly and just read line for line, word for word, to make sure I catch any misspellings or, you know, a missing period or something like that, which surprisingly is very difficult when you are just so familiar with the text. But yeah, I am officially at the bridge point. If you are familiar with my writing vlogs and me talking about Venture Beyond, you know what I'm talking about. But if you are not familiar, I had split my book up into 2 parts, which was just for the writing process. It's not going to be in the final book. And I had part 1 and then part 2, and there was kind of this event that happens that bridges together those 2 parts, and I just read that. So now we are officially into what I wrote during the 30,000 words in 4 days challenge. I'm kind of concerned that I'm going to have a lot to edit because I didn't edit back through since writing that. I only put it through Grammarly and fixed like obvious word mess ups and like grammatical errors, but I hadn't gone through and intentionally edited it. So this is the first real edit I'm doing of those 30,000 words, and I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of shit to change. I'm having a good time. Honestly, my biggest concerns are that the reader is gonna be bored, that it's not a fast enough pacing, that we aren't gonna really like Riley as a character, we aren't gonna like the relationships and the dynamics that she has with people. I'm very interested to see how Trevor feels about it reading it, because like I said, he just finished Venture Below. So the greatest compliment he gave me though was that as soon as he started reading it, he knew where we were in the story, and like it was really easy to pick up on. So I was like, awesome. But my biggest concern honestly is just that it's gonna drag, that there's gonna be, because there's a lot of explanations, I guess is the best way to put it. Like there are so many questions I give you in Venture Below, and I'm answering almost every single one of them in Venture Beyond. So trying to make sure I'm piecing them together, the pacing is right, that it's informational but also not boring, and that we're still developing Riley as a character and stuff. So it's just been interesting. I don't know. I'm very doubting myself right now. I think it's good, but I just don't know. This is the first time I've ever written like the second book in a series, so I don't know if I'm executing everything I need to be executing, if I'm setting up everything that needs to be set up in the third book, which a lot of the setup for the third book is happening in these 30,000 pages, where I feel like a lot of the conclusions are what I'm giving you in this first half. I'm trying to do both with this book and kind of bridge the gap between book 1 and 3. It is a setup book, but it's not like a filler book. Like I know a lot of second books have been like portrayed as like the filler, and I feel like this is a lot of setup and build up and answering questions and introducing new characters, new drama, new issues, new politics, new kingdoms. Like there's so much that goes on in this, and new romances, which I like because I really don't introduce the romance until this bit. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to stop talking about it because I definitely will spoil everything. So yeah, I think I'm going to get back to it. I genuinely think I could finish this tonight, which actually would be insane. I don't want to like force it, but I'm in the flow. Like I'm in the thick of it. Another thing I'm thinking about is like I'm binging this whole thing. It's so easy to just like fly through. I know I'm the one who wrote it, so of course it's going to be easier for me to read, but I'm just finding it's so easy to just like I'm flying through this thing, obviously. So it's kind of changing my perspective of what if the reader is flying through it? Like, is my pacing actually good pacing? If somebody's just flying through it, like I want to make sure I'm developing things properly and that it's not just like, boom, developed. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know how much more of this I'm going to get through. I'm going to go ahead and get back to editing. I fear I'm actually crazy. There's honestly a lot less in the last half than I thought there would be. I think my writing in the last half is so much better than in the first half, so that was a really interesting discovery. I'm still concerned, like I was telling you guys, whether or not the reader's gonna get bored. I don't think so. Like, there's a lot of action, a lot of like character development and like relationship development between certain characters and stuff, so I think it's enough to keep people interested in, but like, I just don't know. I think I'm more afraid that people aren't gonna like it than anything. I think it flows really well. I think it makes sense. I think the pacing is good. I think the ending is so jarring and confusing, and it's exactly what I want. Like, I want you as a reader to finish this book and just go, like, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. I hope that that accomplishes that. I don't know. I think this could be a very... People could really like this or really not like this. Also because of how I'm framing a certain character in this book. Some people I think are going to have very mixed feelings about it. I don't know. I think that's kind of my intention, to be honest, is this is just a book full of answers, but then also full of possibly even more questions. I think it accomplished everything I needed it to. I'm very excited to actually put these edits into the draft. I think the like 4 years this has taken me to write actually paid off somehow. Do I think it could be better? Of course. But do I think it's good enough? I think after this round of edits, yes. I think it's gonna be good enough to publish. I haven't eaten since breakfast. I've just been reading this all day. I flew through it. I really think people are gonna fly through this book because there's just so, like, we're just go, 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 go. I'm gonna eat. Guess I'll see you tomorrow for when we start putting these edits into draft 8. It is now 6 o'clock. I have edited 4 chapters. To be honest, this is going a lot faster than I expected it to. I was explaining this to Trevor when I got this back and had finished the red pen edits. I did the same exact thing with Venture Below and I printed it all out, but instead of getting a test copy like this, I just printed it out on white printer paper. I had a folder where I would like read the page and then tuck it into the next thing. It was so, I look back and it's so nostalgic. The difference though between when I red pen edited Venture Below is that I did so much more extensive editing in Venture Below. Like, that was where I did a lot of like thinking about the characters, how scenes were flowing together, moving chapters and stuff like that. And in this case, I'm really just changing like certain words, removing like the access, like the fatty words that are just kind of stopping the reader from reading smoothly. I definitely need to do this again. So that's kind of the sucky thing. And I was literally thinking to myself, like, okay, I'm almost done like with this edit. I could realistically get this done by the weekend. I was like, what am I going to do with all this extra time? Like, I could mark it, I could come up with like whatever. Sitting here now, there are definitely still things that I'm not 100% obsessed with, specifically in the beginning of the book, because I feel like there is a point in the middle of the book where you can literally tell I get better at writing. Trevor has not hit that point in the book yet, but I'm really, really interested to know if it's just my delusion or if it's real. Honestly excited for him to get to that point so I can be like, hey, do you think the writing's better? Because I personally can tell a pretty big difference. I do think after this round of red pen edits, I'm going to go back through draft 8 and just really, really be picky about it. But I don't want to over edit. That is something that I'm really fearful of. Getting it to the point where like it loses personality, it loses the gumption that it had before, you know, but I still want to go back through it with a editing eye just to give it one last breeze through. I want to fix up those problems that I had with the cover and try to get the cover as close to the publishing version as possible, like the one that's going to be published. It's going to take some time and a couple headaches, I just already know. This is such a random, strange way that I'm going about editing my book. It's what's working right now. It's how it's going to be. This is not how I'm going to do this moving forward. This is just how Venture Beyond needed to be birthed, I guess. Last time when I wrote Venture Below, I wrote Venture Below completely, and then I waited like a few months to get started on Venture Beyond, and now look where we are. It's taken me like 3.5 years. Since I already have the momentum, I want to get started on it like as soon as my brain has the extra space inside of it. I already have a manuscript made in Scrivener with kind of the main bullet points that need to happen in that book. I don't have it plotted. At one point I did, but because this series has gone through so many transformations and changes, I don't have that bullet point down as much as I had in the past, so I need to plot the thing. I'm not normally a plotter, but the way that the series is and how many moving parts, just foreshadowing and all this shit, I have to plot it. I already have a Pinterest board. I don't have a playlist yet, but I do need to make one. It's going to be really, really, really hard for me not to say the name of the third book because I do know it and I do know the tagline. And when I'm talking to Trevor, I just say the name of the book. But to you guys, I want to make sure that's a special moment between us. I'm not just going to rattle off the name. Hopefully I don't. If I do or if I have, let's just keep that between us. That is my little update. I do think I'm going to call it for tonight. I could keep going, but to be honest, I'm tired. I just want to sit back, drink my little hot chalky, eat my cookies. That's it for right now. I will see you when I get back to editing. Howdy friends. Last I spoke to you, I had gone through 4 chapters in this test copy. As you can probably guess, I'm halfway through. I am on chapter 20, just edited through 16 chapters in that one sitting. It is only 1 o'clock. This morning when I sat down, I already had the mentality that I would try to finish these edits, regardless of how much time and energy and mental power it took. I already decided that, not even knowing that it would be this easy and fast. It is a little hard vlogging, putting in these edits, because I can't show you the paper, like the markings that I've put in this book and stuff like that, because it would be spoilers. So I just have to like blur out all of this stuff, and I can't show you my document. So it's like what actually is satisfying, because I'm not fully typing things either. I'm just like changing a couple words here and there. So it's been interesting trying to vlog that experience for you. So I'm sorry if it's not all that satisfying. We are making progress. I'm feeling really good about it. I still have my concerns of if it's slow, if people are going to be interested. I think I have just enough to keep the reader engaged. That's enough chit-chatting. I'm gonna get back to work. Howdy friends, it is much later. I do want to say I did finish putting in all of my red pen edits, and I even went through a little bit more and was changing some stuff up. Also put in the changes from up until where Trevor has read already. And then I just spent the past couple hours just doing a lot of nothing. I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I can't believe I actually finished putting in all of those edits. Today was a good day. It is the next day. Trevor officially finished Venture Beyond and he gave me some notes, some ideas, and I have like one chapter in particular that I think I'm going to change up just a little bit. I have like one scene that I can input to a chapter towards the end to make it a little bit better, stronger, fill in a gap of something. So that's pretty awesome. I am gonna call it for this editing vlog. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much for being here. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like. I love talking to you guys in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!